It is that time for the featured matches here at Week 13 of the Quake Pro League. I am DJ Tabuli, followed with, I don't know, Creatine Cowboy. I feel like I've called you that before, but let's bring in DJ Wheat so we can be professionals, or at least try to.
ZSX is definitely DJ Whitebread. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, everyone. What is up? Good to be back. Travel's done. I was saying don't travel again until QuakeCon, and I'm excited for that trip, but we still have a few weeks left of some Quake action to figure out where people are going to place there at QuakeCon. So good to be back, gentlemen. You've done well today. I've been behaved, had some decent games. Good job.
I love when you lie to us. I appreciate the support. It's always good to have
there's going to be a beating
back.
Afterwards. Like, don't worry about that.
Yeah. They will continue until morale increases. But yes, gentlemen, featured matches. We have VengeurR going up against nosfa here shortly as we get into the intros. And Wheat, since you're just fresh into the booth, how do you feel about VengeurR? How do you feel about nosfa and going into this set?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably like how I feel, and then there's probably like what's the paper say, right? Because the paper right now says VengeurR sitting at the number 4 spot, going up against nosfa, number 11 spot, that this should be a pretty easy matchup for VengeurR. But you're talking about having to use a series of satellites and other crazy things that are happening up in space in order for this game to even happen. I don't know, maybe it's all lines underneath the ocean. So there is that element to it, right? Both players kind of being in the extremes in terms of playing online, but I feel pretty much like this is a VengeurR game, right? I mean, look at that record. Look at what he's been doing this whole season. Sure, a 1-2 loss to Rafa. I don't think that's anything that you could hold against VengeurR. So these are the important weeks, gentlemen, as they're really moving towards the championship, the finals. And so this is kind of a must-win for VengeurR. At the same time, nosfa probably wanting to move a little bit up. The only way he's going to do that is by beating opponents like VengeurR, which you would have to do in the championship anyway.
Yeah, I think that this is the best VengeurR's played since he won QuakeCon. He's been finding his feet a little bit again since then, a little bit of inconsistency. But this season, for whatever reason, he's definitely been building into it week on week and just been getting better and better. And then the kind of the victories up against Zeniku, for instance, that 3-0 when Zeniku was the one to take down Rafa, they've all come full circle a little bit there. So, yeah, incredible season so far from VengeurR. And the only reason he's sitting a little bit lower than first or second is because he just hasn't played as many sets yet. So he's going to push his way back up there. Whereas as nosfa, he's definitely probably had his best season since season 1, in my opinion. He's been sitting really, really well. You know, came out the blocks pretty strong. A little bit of inconsistency there, but, you know, pretty much taken maps across everyone except for that Razy series. So it's been a really strong season for nosfa.
Yeah, really strong indeed. We'll see if he can keep it up. I mean, against VengeurR, it's going to be a tall task. And again, you have to be pretty quiet in the public library. So we'll see if he can get that energy going while still maintaining etiquette. But yeah, between these two, it should be a fantastic matchup. VengeurR absolutely on a tear, looking to raise the belt again and work his way up towards gaining peak performance at QuakeCon, which is, again, going to be a LAN live event. Can't say it enough because I'm so excited. But let's hop into the pick bands, see exactly what these two players have in store for us today. It's going to be Corrupted Keep, Molten Falls, and Blood Covenant. We got Strogg versus Ranger, Slash versus Sorlag, and Visor versus Doom. Dan, I heard the grimace. Is it the Slash versus Sorlag again that you don't like?
Yeah, I don't like it. I just have PTSD from watching Saigon. But I think it's a fine pick nonetheless. You just if you play against a good Sorlag, it becomes very difficult, and you just have to really push the boundaries of that speed and make sure you're on point, you're positioning a rail. Otherwise, as we've seen, you can get hurt on it. But otherwise, across the board, I do like the picks. I like the maps. Corrupted Keep again. I think this is the second time we've seen it today. VengeurR would normally pick a Ranger on there, so nosfa kind of takes that away from him. But again, we normally see a Ranger or a Strogg, so nothing to write home about. That Molten Falls is going to be interesting. It's nosfa's map pick as well, so he definitely has a strategy there. And we already just mentioned the discrepancy of that particular matchup in terms of champions. Blood Covenant's a little bit interesting because all of the light champions got taken out of the pool, but VengeurR's kind of left with not a lot of choice. So he is stuck with the Visor, which isn't a bad pick, but yeah, he's going to struggle mobility-wise.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not the best case scenario either. I just don't think that the Molten Falls and the Sorlag, I just don't think that works. Everything has to go your way as a Sorlag. I don't know about that one, you guys. I think this is actually, I mean, the fact that nosfa is using the silver Ranger skin, like this is a 3-0 for Venger.
Spoilers, wait, they can't see that yet. But
Well,
yeah, I mean,
everyone's going to be able to see it because it just sticks
Soon.
out like a sore thumb. So,
you can see it from different games. Yeah, it's interesting that we're going to see this matchup again, and it might be a huge, like, what to do, what not to do, depending on how Venger plays the Slash. As Dan mentioned earlier, PTSD from maybe misplays and misreads. I like to consider it NA strategy gone wrong, but we'll see. I mean, in terms of the picks, now that we have a better picture of everything, Wheat, you think this is going to be an easy 3-0 wholeheartedly because of the Ranger pick?
I don't think any game at this point is easy, but I do think that Venger is gonna 3-0. Like nosfa's a worthy opponent. I mean, jokes aside, there's some tough picks I think for nosfa on the side, but as they say, right, you gotta bring your best. It's any given Sunday, but I do think the scales kind of tip towards Venger as he's marching his way towards a potential another championship.
Dan?
Yeah, no, I agree word for word with Wheat there. So I'm going to echo it.
Sweet. You were saying earlier that you're not really sure what is like different about Venger. He's playing out of his mind, isn't it? Like, aren't you like his trainer on the side? Like he's getting jacked. He's going to be benching like 480 at QuakeCon. Was I not supposed to say that? Is that the secret sauce?
No, I actually had to go at him because he stopped benching because he doesn't want to ruin his practice now. He's like, I don't know.
That's dedication, chat. He's like,
yeah.
I don't want to get swole. I want to get jacked in Quake. I want to win this thing. All right.
So I've stopped talking to him now.
That mouse arm becomes a little bit heavier. You know, you think that the muscles are going to help, but at the end of the day, it's actually like then it's stamina and exhaustion in the arm. Like ZSX, we can map the growth of your muscles to like you just getting worse at video games. So this is a thing that happens. Venger, you made the right choice.
That sounds like someone that's never been to the gym in their life. So.
We are not wrong about that, Dan. I mean, unless you include the home gym, like, you're right.
Well, I mean, now we're going to get Wheat in the booth to film our bench press video when we're at QuakeCon. But nevertheless, we're locked in. It looks like 3-0s across the board. I'm going to say at least a 2-1. I think nosfa has a little something in him. Because if you go all the way back to QuakeCon when it actually happened on a stage in front of people, he beat Venger. Granted, it was Blood Run and he used scale, but he beat Venger 1-0 on Blood Run. And that's still my favorite victory of all time because it was fucking hilarious to watch. But anyways, that's my thing. I think 2-1 to Venger. But as we get ready to jump into this one, Dan, I'm kicking you out.
All right.
Please see your muscles out of here and we will bring you back for the winner interview after the fact. Enjoy your blended chicken. Wheat, good to have you back.
Hey, good
it's always
to be
a
back.
pleasure.
Good to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
I could see I think actually chat agrees with you a little bit on the 2-1, which is fair. There was someone who actually said 3-0 is so disrespectful. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, is giving a champion of QPL at a point in time like a I'm just playing, but this is the important piece, and I would say that players and fans alike should remember that even though nosfa has occasionally not had the greatest or maybe like a mid ranking going into the finals, when he hits that environment, it's usually his time to shine, right? So I think for nosfa, like fighting for the best possible position he can get to set himself up for success at the finals is #1 priority. So, and as someone else pointed out, I think Kilson is going to have to play Venger still, before the finals. So that will be pretty, like, there's still some tough matches for Venger ahead of him. So he's got to get through this one.
Definitely. And again, it's never any disrespect to any player when we make our predictions because they're all made up and nothing matters. Anyways, map number 1 going to be live here shortly. Corrupted Keep Venger versus nosfa, first featured match of the day alongside DJ Wheat, and we are live starting off on Venger.
Yeah, and I kind of like that we're starting here on Keep. It's I think a good map to kind of set the pace for these two, and Won't turn into necessarily Railfest, but we'll see what happens in other games. nosfa already doing a little bit of damage. Ooh, nice blind rocket there coming in from the side. The machine gun damage, which you know to be crucial here on this map. But nosfa holding his own. LG, he does fall down right there. That could be bad, though. 40. Orb comes out, does allow him to reposition and kind of recover for that one. But nosfa not looking great. Rocket through the bottom. Venger kind of held his own there, despite the fact that nosfa want to control that area. This could be first frag. Oh! Not what I expected.
think that was some shenanigans because it looked like nosfa just passed through Venger a little bit. Venger lost track of nosfa. nosfa puts up the first frag, takes advantage of the situation here. Peeker comes out. And sometimes, you know, it happens. It happens. But nosfa has the lead, but he is very weak. Needs to try and restack. Venger needs to try and make sure that keeps nosfa nice and weak and tender if he wants to try and get back into this one and tie to 1.
Yeah, I mean, shenanigans are not like nosfa should hold on to that frag like it is a little, you know, kitten that he must protect. We're going to have a battle of the machine guns, and nosfa stays around a little bit longer than he should have. In fact, that's going to allow Venger now to possibly convert. He did not, though. Looking pretty low, actually. Great rocket from the top. And second one, as Peeker does come down. But oh my gosh, these guys are just destroying one another here. We've had these players so low in terms of health overall, but nosfa, he's waiting for Mega, gets caught out, and LG down by Venger, putting 2-0 on the board.
Yeah, just a rough situation for nosfa. They're trying to fight from below with rockets.
Yeah.
Venger taking advantage of the position and the weapon. Looking to attack more on decent rocket. Actually bounces Venger towards the banana, takes more chip damage, and now he's stuck in the red room with 21 HP. Mad dash back to the heavy, or excuse me, Mega from the heavy, and now nosfa, it's all him. He just needs to find this frag, and Venger's going to play the defensive game and try and just stay alive for another cycle of items.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, that was a pretty good juke there by Venger to stay alive when he was so low. nosfa with a phenomenal stack. And this is a kind of bad position, and there it is. He chose the right way to go, but unfortunately, nosfa around the corner just had a good beat of LG on him. Huge direct rocket coming out. nosfa going to have to back up from that one just a little bit, but not too bad. Venger, though, swaps with his opponent. Now he's got the stack. Oh no.
There was plays made. There was commitments made. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for nosfa. Rocket, orb, everything. Threw literally everything he had at it. Venger comes out on top, takes the lead yet again, but this has been a little bit back and forth. Venger trying to get some stability in his life here and take the lead firmly, but gives up position. nosfa was able to dart on by and at least grab the heavy as Venger takes possession of the Mega, and that rocket, just a little bit of chip damage, but keeping nosfa on his toes here. And the Peeker play from across the map nets some damage. Venger with some flight school skills right there.
Yeah, I mean, he knew exactly where his opponent was, too. Probably gave him a little moment of safety once that Peeker was all done with, but setting up now for this heavy. nosfa's there, completely uncontested by Venger. He did fire a couple rockets at the exit, but that'll be it. And nosfa's doing a great job keeping this close. As you mentioned, Venger would love to pull a couple of ways. There's been some opportunities, but another long-range machine gun battle. nosfa hurting again, but this time he learned from his mistakes. He backs off and will not allow Venger the frag.
Does disengage at the right time, able to stack back up off some bubbles, keep it close, but not that. Going through and just eating so much damage, but again, able to swipe the heavy. He's probably gonna die here, and there it is. Oh my God, that rocket was almost a trade, and look, a Mega Venger, very lucky to be alive and grab the Mega after the fact, but he's still weak and needs to be careful here as nosfa's on the prowl.
Yeah, Venger, no armor. I think he has an idea where his opponent is. Definitely does after that rocket. And he did pull ahead that extra frag. I still think, you know, we're not even to the 5-minute point. There's the heavy again. This is the opportunity for nosfa, right? Oh, stopped short with a great rocket. Will pick up that Mega. But that could have been a lot better for nosfa. Venger with that, I don't know, nicely placed rocket to stop him.
Beautiful rocket there. And again, Wenger playing perfect defense, living off the lights as best he can until he can get back into the next cycle of items and trying to do some damage. And that's big damage. But the dire orb cutting the distance and the shotgun. nosfa waving around wildly, saying, I hope this lands somewhere. And it does. Now the LG to keep Wenger at bay. Oh my goodness. The pushback on that is insane. Wenger trying to do some damage with the peeker, and this is getting crazy real fast, and just like that, a burst of damage in life from nosfa.
I mean, the whole series of events was pretty crazy. You're absolutely right. From everything that just went on there, and we're now one frag game down to 12 points of health.
Wow.
I liked the aggressiveness, but it did not work out for him. nosfa actually just had such a great work off of that last frag, but Wenger keeps his lead alive at 2. We've got 4 minutes remaining here, and both players looking decent. nosfa has to, you know, this is a tough spot, right? Getting the frag, the best I think you hope for right now is like, okay, let me tie it up and then see where we go from here. But Wenger is, you know, he's playing this one well. Now really playing that middle area, see if he can chip some damage. Both of our majors are up. Oh, and that rocket forced Wenger back. He was able to get the mega, but that means heavy for nosfa, and I think that's exactly where he'd like to be.
Yeah, the rockets from nosfa when Wenger's attacking the heavy are so good, and they just keep splashing Wenger towards banana and pushing him away, so he's almost guaranteed the heavy at those times. But Wenger still has the 2-frag lead, and we're getting close to 3 minutes remaining. So the pressure is on from nosfa as he's coming through the telly, taking a lot of machine gun damage, chipping away at Wenger. Wenger, last-ditch effort, and nosfa closes the gap with the dire orb counterplay to the peeker, and that was beautifully done.
That was so beautifully done, and suddenly, you know, he's like, hey, I might, tie it up, and maybe even a victory here, which would be pretty incredible. Less than 3 minutes to go. Wenger just definitely slowed it down, trying to play peekaboo a little bit more. And nosfa, 1 frag away from tying this up, takes a little bit of damage he probably didn't want to. Heavy is up. nosfa's gonna grab that mega and a light and set himself up to potentially tie this game.
Definitely looking for an opening and being nice and patient, knowing it's only a 1-frag game. That's going to be big. He needs to minimize damage taken here as he tries to decide which item he's going to contest for. Wenger, meanwhile, looking pretty good, just wants to hang on to this lead, doesn't need to commit to anything, but does need to keep the damage up to make sure nosfa doesn't get too crazy. There's the dire orb. That's some good bait, but it forces him out of the mega room, and now Wenger has to decide where he wants to be. nosfa going to commit to the heavy. There's the scoop, and so Wenger can pick up the mega. Items traded, that's good enough for Wenger. Now it's just a matter of playing really a solid defense for a minute and a half.
Yeah, I think nosfa really liked getting that that heavy, and then also picked up the hourglasses. Nice rocket, but he's gonna have to get aggressive. LG battle. nosfa hurt really down to 1 health and gets LG'd out of the sky. And that could be game here. Wenger gonna find his opponent yet again. He picked up that light, but what can nosfa do? Now 2 frags, that's a tall order here. He did so well. Had an opportunity, went for it, but that LG was just too much.
So strong here. Now nosfa really doesn't have anything to work with. LG and dire orb, he's got to maybe throw that around the corner, but here's a rocket for your chest. Good luck trying to get close to me, and there it is. And it almost looked like the dire orb just took out nosfa from that angle, from Wenger's angle. Yeah, that's rough, but that's the defense of Wenger.
Oh, man. And I mean, nosfa's just trying to go for it at this point, and you just can't blame him. There's less than 30 seconds left to go. Nice frag as he comes out of the teleporter at the top of the statue. Game 1 is gonna go to Wenger, but much closer game than I think the score actually is telling us right now. I mean, if it ends at 8-4 still for quite a while, we were just a 1-frag game. And nosfa's going to try to claw back, but in the final seconds, that's going to be all she wrote. 8-5, first game going to go to Wenger. But 40, I think we can all agree that there were some moments there that nosfa kind of had that game within reach.
Yeah, definitely nothing that was, called early, I would say, is Venger and nosfa. Good first map between the two. Not optimal conditions, as you said. They're playing across the world, which, technology, science, yay. Be thankful for what we have, chat, you ungrateful. Anyways, a really solid set from Venger. Good plays from nosfa, just can't quite get over the hump, but the ideas were there. The Dior plays were nice, caught Venger off guard.
Yeah.
Venger, very strong defense. I mean, he's been a champion looking to make it twice. So good plays, keeping calm under the pressure and realizing that, there are some shenanigans happening here in the server sometimes, but overall remaining collected enough to take this one away and put map number 1 in the bag.
Yeah, I think a lot of those, frags that Venger ended up getting were just map awareness, knowing where nosfa was going to be, and having his LG out. There were a couple times where I thought Venger got the best in those heavy machine gun battles, but then nosfa had a couple, that's how he clawed his way back, just kind of ripping through that health and armor with the machine gun. I don't know if you'd call it ripping, maybe like slowly tapping, but it can be effective, right? But as we move on, right, nosfa's just got to put game 1 behind him. Venger on his way to try to reach that 3-0 victory. But now we come to to Molten, and Venger on the slash, nosfa on the Sorlag. And, I don't know. I don't feel like Sorlag has a lot of success. On paper, where he's like, oh, yeah, spit, you can zone, you could do all that. But up against this, someone like Slash, I think it's kind of negated. So this is, to me, a tough map here for nosfa.
Yeah, I mean, based on the matchup earlier that we saw with these champs on this map, it's really about how the Slash plays, and no disrespect to my NA fam, it was misplayed a little bit earlier. We saw some interesting tactics from Cygib. If you run at a Sorlag over and over again with Slash, probably not going to work out, and it's going to be in the favor of the Sorlag. I have a feeling, just a gut feeling, Venger might approach this one a little more tactically.
A little different, yeah.
And that's what you're saying, where it is harder to play against a Slash that's playing more calculated, hitting the hit and run rail game and popping in and out with shotguns, rockets. So that's probably what we'll see here, and it's going to be a vastly different story that was told earlier today. But yeah, nosfa tall order, and again, he's already down a map, so that kind of creeps into your head while you're playing. So we'll see what he can come out with. Hopefully he plays a measured game. Again, map number 1 wasn't a blowout by any means, and since this is kind of a high ping game, there might be some shenanigans. We might see some more of that. So who knows? You just got to keep your head in the game, and whatever happens, happens.
Considering the environment that nosfa typically plays from, right? I would say that if he hits rails, that would put him in a great spot in this map. I mean, any player hitting rails anytime, that's usually a good thing. But given kind of where we're at here, that'd be the thing I'd watch out for. So will that change the way that Venger might approach this one? I have no idea. Venger plays Venger, but this should be interesting. And we're live, so take us away.
Live on map number 2, Venger looking to take the set in 2 maps. nosfa trying to battle back and force the third as the decider. And yeah, the rail might come into play here. Maybe, right off the bat, in fact, for Venger. I was going to say might be an early start for the rails, and indeed it was. As Venger wants to make sure he chips away at that sorbet as early as possible.
Yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. That rail is kind of just a slap to the face, put you in your place for that first shot. You're coming around the side. Venger lands another one. Does manage to trade there, but that's going to be heavy for Venger. So nosfa just I think needs to figure out where he can set up a trap. Venger definitely playing this one slow. Look at these two. I mean, we've seen these types of games before on Molten, but how interesting. Oh.
Wow.
Nice.
Connecting with 2 rails. nosfa forcing Venger off the mega. Now he's on the hunt, too. This is a nice read from nosfa, but beautiful movement from Venger to counter the read. And this is exactly what we want to see.
Wow.
That's beautifully done by Venger.
Not what I expected there at all. That was intelligent caution right there. Sometimes you can just panic in that situation, but Venger played that perfectly. And both players with rails again, 90 seconds in, 40 and not a frag. And this could be a low scoring one, or it could just be a long time to that first frag, and that's when the explosions began.
Yeah, I mean, Venger's playing this how he has to. Committing in that LG melts a nosfa. She big girl. A lot to hit there as the rocket not landing as much as he wants. Venger needs to try and get out of there. He is weak after that LG on LG fight, but that initial fight near the Mega in that beautiful movement saved Venger's life and tilted the map in his favor. He is going to be able to fall back onto the Mega after this fight if nosfa commits. He's thinking about it, throwing out a little bit of spit, making sure that Venger is forced a certain direction. He's actually going to push through with a little bit of LG, catching nosfa out with the rail and makes him pay.
That was so beautiful, right? He spammed the LG thinking his opponent was coming. nosfa backed off, but then when he fired that rail, Venger knew. I literally have half a second. Like, it was such a phenomenal split-second decision to then just go ahead and chase. nosfa gave away his position. He knew exactly where he was, and that was a solid pickup of 2 additional frags there for Venger. So nicely played. This is like Venger in super top form. He does land a couple of nice shotgun blasts, but nosfa does finally chip him down, gets that frag. He is going to get the heavy as a result.
Good refrag there from nosfa, but Venger's still just playing this so well. Does get caught out with the LG, but the buckshot should be able to do it. But the LG and the spacing, the buckshot not landing, and nosfa hanging by a thread, but still gets that frag. Can Venger get to the refrag? Oh my God, he does! In style.
Oh my God, that was nuts. That was super tasty. Yeah, I mean, Venger clearly knew, like, you should be right. If you get breathed on, you're gonna die, and that's exactly what happened. And then there is the rail return. The heavy goes down, but the rail yields a frag, and 5-2 suddenly here for Venger, who I think is playing remarkable Quake right now.
Yeah, really well done, stringing together the 3 rails in a row. The man from Tripoli, showing exactly why you were worried about picking Sorlag against Slash on here, especially if you get the momentum going. It's just so hard to catch up. And now here's the push, and it's a good one from nosfa, as he is able to get that frag, putting his 3rd on the board.
Yeah, was that maybe Venger being a little too confident there, sitting right on top? I mean, became an easy target there for nosfa. Not sure. Maybe just misread where nosfa was on the map, but that was a good pickup, right? Getting up by 3 on this map, that can't feel good, but bringing that one back, kind of putting a pause on your opponent's control, that can do a lot here. So nosfa still kind of, slowing it down, looking for those opportunities where he might be able to come in, and is just trying to get a good read on where Venger might be. There's the heavy. It's going to be an opportunity for him to potentially try to do some damage here. Mega, still not. Oh, nice rail for nosfa as he goes in for the assault. Got a chase on for his opponent. Decides to go after it. 40 spit coming out. Nice rocket. Will he follow up with another one? He does. LG comes out, but it does manage to get it. Venger can't stop the onslaught there from nosfa, and that was well played.
Yeah, nosfa putting on the aggression, and just really good mechanics there to ledge clip up the jump pad. Venger misreads the rockets, can't land a chunky one to get a bounce, and nosfa able to get that frag and keep this within 1. Now it's a mad dash to the Mega. Venger able to drop in and slide out of there without taking damage, and that's going to be huge as he is lacking resources right now, trying to live off the lights. 15 seconds to the heavy, and nosfa on the lookout with that railgun, looking to chip away and make sure that Venger stays away from the next set of majors.
Yeah, once again, we have a game with just a 1 frag difference here. nosfa's clawed his way back. I have to applaud his recovery so far here in map number 2. He's going to pick up that heavy again, and LG from the top. Nicely done. A rocket to make it a pair. And now 4 minutes remaining. There's a nice rail. The spit comes out. Takes a lot of LG damage, but still does manage to deplete the armor stack of Venger once again, which means he goes back to foraging.
Yeah, again, stuck in this defensive mode, and nosfa is completely okay with that, cycling the items. And again, as long as he's keeping this within 1, but Venger drops down onto the heavy as nosfa caught out a little bit there. Didn't have the good positioning that he needed, and Venger taking a lot of damage, trying to dish out some on this Mega, but overall, relatively clean pickup for nosfa, and that's going to be big as he tries to grab a light now and maybe make a play on this next heavy.
Yeah, definitely great pickup there for nosfa. Clearly, Venger trying to get that frag before the spawn, but nosfa right on top of that timing. Well done. Heavy's up now, and nosfa's had solid control of both of our major items here for the last about minute and a half. And we see what Venger's trying to do, right? From that top level, his opponent comes to the center, tries to get some LG, maybe lands a rail. Unfortunately, that's still handing major items to your opponent on a platter. So gonna try to go down, and here we go, big assault coming in. Misses the rail on that one, tries to land a second one, doesn't happen, but I like the moves, 40. This is exactly what nosfa needs to do when he has got the advantage.
Exactly. As a heavy with items under your belt, throwing that weight around, using the rocket jumps and the speed of the soar lag and the air strafing to really fly around those corners. But Venger was ready, good defense. Did have to concede and get out of there, and now he's stuck in a really bad spot here. As nosfa has full map control, full stack, very healthy girl, and the spit. It's just a matter of catching him out, and Venger's going to do everything in his power to stay the hell away.
Yeah, I mean, nosfa's stack average in this game has just been nuts, and I would be scared too if I was Venger. He does get a hit confirmed there against Venger, grabs that heavy. And how does Venger, like, does he just try to sit on this one frag lead? I don't know, big rocket coming out. Oh, the rail narrowly missing. Venger answering back with one of his own, but again, the items keep going to nosfa. As, up the jump pad, down to 33 points of health. The spit doing some damage. Venger can't really chase. And that was a close one. He's still ticking down. Oh, my God.
It's a bit fearless there from Venger to go up the jump pad, but the buckshot lands and rips apart that dinosaur. And you could see how important that light armor was. nosfa was trying to get up and zone Venger out. Venger doing a good job of punishing up the jump pad, taking it over and actually getting the frag off the back of that. So now nosfa's down 2 with 1:10 left, and he's got to start throwing more Hail Marys out there to try and get this back to even.
And it is nuts. Right now, Venger, 6 heavies, 6 megas. nosfa, 10 heavies, 10 megas. Like, that's actually nuts, and still being up by 2. Here we go, another aggressive advance. The trail is going to come out, but the LG of Venger on point as he creates almost an artificial choke point there, and nosfa hesitating as he comes around the corner. Should I attack? Should I not? Well, it didn't matter because the LG was just melting nosfa. And again, Venger, with this really narrow, very close game, manages to just pull out this just fury of blows here that result in frags. 20 seconds left, 40, 8-4. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, just really well played to close it out by Venger. Really good defense, knowing how important the lights are after the fact. And this one is going to go to Venger. The trade comes out at the very end, but nosfa shaking it off right there. He knows he was so close, but just couldn't crack the defense of Venger.
Damn. That, I mean, it was a good game. nosfa took advantage of the fact of like how Venger was playing, but Venger had patience to the point where, you know, a lot could have gone wrong if one of those rocket jump accelerated attacks onto heavy or mega would have actually worked and the game would have tied back up. nosfa would have had control at that point. So a very interesting approach to take when you're just up by 1, but it absolutely worked. That was very, very intelligent play there by Venger. And nosfa, again, I liked his little aggressive plays that he pulled out there. There were so many times he was close to it, but those final frags at the end, that was rough. That little chase that they had, and then the jump up the jump pad, I don't know who would have expected that in the QPL, and that was a wild risk, but it paid off big. There it was.
Right there. The surprise boomstick,
Yeah.
So we take a look at the weapon breakdowns for map number 2, 10-5. Very well done from Venger. Again, nosfa was close. It was close. It was a very, very close game, 10-5, I think. A couple of last frags were just filler near the end there, throwaway frags, but a very close game. and just solid defense from VengeurR. Again, missing any one of those rockets, defensive rockets. As we saw actually on the heavy, he had rail out when he shouldn't have had rail, and nosfa was able to push in and just LG him down. And that's how critical it is to play that defensive and that smart as a slash. You can't afford to have any wrong weapons out or wrong positioning.
Yeah.
VengeurR able to capitalize and play well, overcoming the SOAR lag, taking map number 2, and a lot of confidence and momentum built up for map number 3, which we're going to load up into shortly. It's going to be Blood Covenant, Visor versus Doom, but VengeurR is just looking a little bit too strong for nosfa today. nosfa's still looking good, but just can't overcome that defense of VengeurR.
Yeah, and this will be interesting, right? Because nosfa should have much more mobility overall. I think that if he can get ahead in this game, which he's in this series, well, it's impossible to get ahead in the series. I meant the map, but you know what I meant, right? 40. That's all that. That's all that matters.
Shut up,
just
Chad.
you
All right,
and
let
me.
the man speak.
If he can get ahead, I think that nosfa sits in a good position to actually take this one. You know, I just piercing sight's going to be good for you know, coming back from behind, but nosfa gets the lead, has that mobility, that becomes much more difficult for VengeurR. So that first frag becomes infinitely more important.
Yeah, and I think even during these matches as we're getting closer and closer to QuakeCon, I think even the close matches that you could feel slip away and in your head, you know, there's no really way in, it's important to just keep fighting because you never know when that situation is going to happen on land, when it's 1 or 2 frags, and it is possible. And you have to have that mentality ready of, I can get back into this, I could send it into sudden death, I could win it in sudden death, but like mentality is everything, especially getting closer and closer to QuakeCon. So it's good to see nosfa stay in it and keep fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though these are kind of slipping away from him and going into map number 3, I think we might have a little bit of a reset here. It should be more of the same. Hopefully he gets a better start, but we'll see. We'll see exactly how this goes.
Man. Man.
Is it bad? Are we actually in it? This is real?
I think so. Oh my God. Wait.
Things are happening, chat, but I
Oh
don't know.
my God. Dude.
Did I kick out the power cable?
No, the game is going on. It's 1-1 right now. I'm
All right, take us back to the old days, Wheat.
It was like
radio stations. Okay, we're good. We're good. We got it.
You wouldn't believe it. This first frag, nosfa actually lands the rail, and VengeurR, right? He had his machine gun out. nosfa went for the second rail, and VengeurR just machine gunned him down, but was low enough that then they traded a frag, and now nosfa's in the lead. Right? It's not a strong lead because he's got no control really of anything, but it is a lead. And it's exactly what he said need to happen. The rails have been coming out like nuts. So here we are. Yes, this is live. We're in it. LOL, 5 minutes talking about the importance of the first frag. Hey, I'm not pressing the buttons. 40's not pressing the buttons.
I mean, you can blame it all on me, Chad. I don't really give a shit.
Actually, it's totally no. It's fine.
Me.
It happens. It happens.
It is funny though.
We're in it.
But yes, this is real. This is live, and you all missed it because shame on you. Anyways, 2-1. nosfa does have the lead.
Yeah, it was issues beyond everyone's control, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
we're in it now,
Things
and
happen.
nosfa has the lead. So let's pay attention to what's going on here in the game. Yeah.
There's no match fixing, chat. 2-1. nosfa's in the lead indeed, but he is being peppered down and he's stuck by the heavy. But VengeurR has already made his escape, trying to grab some items, stack back up for the fight, and just another sloppy Saturday of Quake. You gotta love it.
Donald Duck's pants in chat. In retrospect, the third frag is actually the most important question mark. Yes, the answer to that is yes. And that's actually 4th frag now, and we're tied back up. So it all is just a repetitive cycle now at this point. The first frag is still up for grabs.
Yeah. What we meant is the first frag that you witness is the most important. So 2-2, 2:30 in, nosfa down, and he can't even stay there to steal away the mega. He is going to try and fight, and somehow, scrappy as it may be, does escape. But at what cost? He's just delaying the inevitable at this point. Still running away, not giving VengeurR an angle, and VengeurR tries to force that rail. Doesn't give himself enough time to line it up, and nosfa's still alive. Nope, there it is.
Oh my God, all I saw was Gibbs. That's nuts. nosfa is very low. Wenger's going to get another one, 4-2. How unfortunate. I mean, he just couldn't find anything for you. Everything was gone. Ran around for 35 health for like 10 seconds. That's rough.
Yeah.
Oh.
Please, anything to restack as casually makes his way across to grab rockets. Does eat a rail. Wenger looking for another one. nosfa taking the fight to him with the LG, saying, I hope you hit all your rails, because I want to make sure that if you don't, I get the advantage here. Wenger going back up the jump pad, lining up a rail. Another one. nosfa relentless with the pressure right now, really testing Wenger, and Wenger finally puts an end to it with some buckshot.
Yeah, this is, I mean, nosfa had like a 45 or a 75% rail too, but then he just couldn't get his hands on a rail again. He's finally going to try to be back in it, but Wenger up by 3. This is just such a great spot for Wenger to be in. I think he can play pretty passive if he wants to, but he's still got to be thinking about that mobility. There's a lot of time still left in this matchup, and you know, a couple rails can totally change the pace of things. So Wenger grabbing that heavy, but might get machine gun down. 4 points of health, and wow, still goes for the shotgun hit. I cannot believe he went for that, and there it is. nosfa finally picking that back one up. He's still in it.
Gigantic meatballs on Wenger, and I love the play because he figured the chase was going to be on, and why not get up close and personal and get one big shotgun blast before he goes down. Luckily for nosfa, he was too far back, but in the end does get the frag, still 2 down. But you gotta love it. Wenger knowing that he's on death's door, he just wanted to maximize damage, so I like the idea here. Missing with that second rail, but no big deal because he's gonna just pick up the mega, and nosfa's already so hurt. Does hit a rail of his own. So Wenger slows down. Oh yeah, he needs way more than that too as he's trying to stack back up. Wenger has the vision, tries to pre-fire that one a little bit, just not connecting with these, but he really wants one. He sees the heavy up as well, and he's gonna have to concede it. It's not worth taking the damage.
Yeah, I gotta say that was actually pretty sick use of piercing there by Wenger. He knew exactly where nosfa was, and then lined himself up to hit the 2 shots right after, like, cross over through the path of the arches. Like, that was nicely done. But nosfa's still looking to turn the tables here, down by 2. He did get quite a bit of damage off on his opponent there. Has a great idea on where he is, but gosh, Wenger has that 7 cents 40. Like, he's like, no, my opponent's gonna go this way, I'll go the opposite direction, and it's paid off dividends here in this one. Nice rocket coming out. nosfa gets stopped on that one, but he's got a stack now, and this is a huge difference from where we've seen him in the past few minutes.
Lobbing rockets over. That one's going to give him information. Big defensive rocket. Can't quite convert, but nosfa is able to get in there and melt him down for his 4th frag. Really nice play.
That was super nice. And kind of negative of what happened last time, but waiting around for that heavy. Came out of it actually worse than he came in. Might be set up here nicely for Mega. Wow. Jumping over those rockets, dodging those nicely, and we'll get a little bit of a delay there. That might allow him to get full control here as he heads on over to the rocket launcher, puts his opponent down below, knows exactly where he's at. He might have just given it up right there. Let's see if he can land the rail.
Ooh, what a rocket. Oh, make that 2. Wenger again, still no rail to play with. Doesn't matter. The machine gun is absolutely nuts from Wenger and tears through nosfa. Now the piercing sight for a little bit of insurance here on this peak, and he's just gonna wait, and nosfa wisely decides not to take the jump pad up. Delays it instead and takes it. Now he's gonna get melted back down.
No.
That is rough.
Oh, man. Oh, God. The horror. That sucks so bad. Feels good to be on the giving end of that, doesn't it, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But as you're going up the jump pad and you see your opponent come around the corner with LG, you're just like, fuck.
Exactly. And then the double jump. The double jump, like, maybe this will throw him off a little bit. No, it just actually made it a little bit easier for him. I mean, what are you going to do at that point? You know you're done, but Oh, that was rough. Wenger with another 8-4. And again, we have this like incredibly close game. And I wouldn't even say like, oh, well, nosfa needs to figure out how to close these out. Wenger just has been like turning it on. It's like his fuse is lit at the beginning of the match, and then there's explosion about 6-7 minutes in. But how close these games have been in each of these maps, 40, up until that about 6 or 7 minute mark. So I don't know. That's rough for nosfa.
That, and it never helps when you're running into 61% LG that Wenger's hitting. Like, that is just nuts. Whole bunch of LG here.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean, there's not much that nosfa can do at this point in time, but it is indeed going to be a 3-0 here for Wenger. But yeah, I mean, those first like 6-7 minutes, we had mostly one frag or tied games.
Yeah, the first 30 seconds, Chad, if you missed it, shame on you. No, yeah, when it left, I mean, it's been close, but again, Wenger just has the ability to play such good defense and also just swap to offense and punish so well that it just slips away from us. So it's not any glaring issues in his game. I'm sure Dan's gonna come in and have some thoughts of his own. Oh my God, get the bucket.
Ouch.
At this point, you have to throw your body at it. There's nothing else to do, but wow,
Yeah.
just wow.
Yeah. Yep, well played by both players for sure. Wenger will take the 3-0 victory in the series, but nosfa looked pretty decent. And again, we talked a little bit about it, is that like, don't sleep on nosfa going into that finals. He's consistently showed up to play, had some good matches, like even sent a lot of players home. May not look like it right here, but there was a nice little juke. Rocket jump into the frag. Not going to matter there for the map victory, but 9-5. And that is, nosfa just wanted to get 5 frags in every map, and he did that.
nosfa with the 5-5-5 deal indeed, but Wenger with the 3-0, and that's what matters most as he's just building the body count until he gets to QuakeCon. Let's bring Dan back in here. I'm sure he's had his shredded chicken and creatine. How you doing, Dan? Welcome back.
Pasta, actually. Thank you.
Oh, carbs? You devil. What did you think of that set?
Oh man, that was one of the best sets of the season for me. I think every game, the scoreline at the end was fairly distant, but it didn't feel like that playing it through. I think the thing that most impressed me from Wenger's point of view was just his capability to do so much damage relative to the opponent from positions he shouldn't have to. I think each map he did at least 1,000, if not 1,500 damage more, including the first map. Every single map, just so much more damage, and it just comes down to his positioning, his understanding of where his opponents are, and just his ability just effectively to get off more shots, be more efficient around the map. Like, he fired nearly 3 times as many rails on this map relative to nosfa. That's insane. And that's that war of attrition as to why he kind of racks up over time and slowly builds his lead, just because he continually wears down his opponent. And then compounding that is just his ability to increase the tempo of the game. I think he does it better than Rafa sometimes. He made Ranger look speedy. It was not Ranger, Visor look speedy.
Yeah.
So those two things combined means when he wants to, his opponent's often low, he picks up the tempo and he's got perfect decision making. So he looks scary.
Yeah, I mean, the decision-making that you talked about, there were, a number of times where, Wenger was in a rough spot. He was having to make decisions on which way to go, and it just seemed like every single time he was making those right decisions. Like, outside of that weird first frag we had on map number 1, like, I never felt like there were too many times where Wenger was in a situation where he still wasn't able to take advantage. I mean, even when nosfa on Molten had full control of the whole map, and Wenger was still setting up ways to build that lead. So it was really impressive. Clap to nosfa though. Well played series. But yeah.
Yeah. That map 2 is crazy because even though he wasn't challenging items, he finds a way to set up to punish the exit.
Yeah.
And always do some sort of damage so his opponent just can't steamroll him. That was very impressive. But I thought nosfa, even though he lost 3-0, I thought he played phenomenal.
of his best sets of the season, maybe? I don't know. It's a tall test against Wenger, and he did play very, very well, even though the scores won't be necessarily indicative of that. We are trying to get Wenger on the line to have a chat with the winner here shortly. And I'll ask probably another dumb question. Just in advance so you can prep, because, I don't know. You guys ask the real questions, I'll come up with something, okay? But yeah, a great first featured match. We got another one coming up shortly. But first, again, we're trying to get Wenger on the line to have a bit of a chat. And it's been a great day of Quake. A bit short, bit crazy, but I wouldn't have it any other way, I guess.
I wouldn't either, 40. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, suck it, chat. Now, anyways, we'll see. I think we got Wenger in here. We're just testing out some mic stuff, and we'll get him in here and have a chat with him. But yeah, as we're getting closer, I'm not sure if we have 5 official weeks or whatever left in the Quake Pro League, but about 2 months left, and we're ready. Never mind. Wenger, congratulations and welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Wait, do you want to start us off, Dan? Whoever.
Yeah, I want to start us off because, Wenger, congratulations, GG. We were really interested in kind of that second game where, nosfa had, either by choice or not, had full control of all items. And it seemed like you were just playing the exits, right, from the top. Can you just tell us a little bit about like your thoughts in game 2 and like that period of time? Why was that the right thing to do? And just talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, because of course nosfa was playing Sarlacc, so he has the same speed as me. Even if I play Slash, he's still gonna be able to catch me. So if he's running the control, I need to find a way to defend myself somehow. And especially online on this kind of things, sometimes it's really difficult to pull off these defensive plays. So I just try to be calm, focused, and wait for the opportunity to get back a major item.
And so just as a follow-up, your goal was just to kind of, you caught him a couple times out with your LG, you landed a couple rails, and then that's when you were just trying to find those openings that way?
Well, for sure, I know that Sarlacc is a big target, right? So if I can bait some fights into my advantage, even if I have only 75 armor, with Quake Champions, I think it's you can actually, play even without a major item if you're playing good defensively. So that was just what happened. And I also got a bit lucky with the shotgun frag 6-4 when I actually won me the game. But
wait, you got a bit lucky. You took a massive risk. Did you think that wasn't gonna play out?
Yeah, well, if I don't do that, I'm gonna die anyway. So it's either I go for the damage, but I got lucky that I killed him. But if I even just did 50 damage, I will refrag him pretty easily, I would say. So paid off.
Typical Wenger luck. Congrats. No benching before QuakeCon. You talk to me about that.
What?
No benching before QuakeCon, right?
Who told you that? You're lying.
You told me that.
No, I never heard this word.
I got the WhatsApp.
No,
I got the WhatsApp. No, seriously.
Release the receipts, Dan. Release the receipts.
No, but seriously, I know you're someone who pays a lot of attention onto areas of weakness in your game, and I'm just most interested to think about what have you been focusing on most leading up to QuakeCon. So I think week on week your game's been, I know you don't want to tell me now, but your game's been improving remarkably, particularly since the start of the season. So what's been the major focus for you in terms of development?
I would say timings. I think it's something that I always I am not bad, but I have been lacking a bit most of the times, and trying to be a bit more aggressive when I have control. Because I know that my defensive play is probably the best in the league. So if I can just combine both styles, it's gonna be good.
And who are you not looking forward to playing at QuakeCon?
Nobody. Man, if you want to win, you don't tell someone you don't want to play. Otherwise, you stay at home, really.
Who are you not looking forward to meeting at QuakeCon?
Meeting? You, probably.
That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm going to outbench you, so I don't know if you want that.
Wow. That's actually what I was going to ask, is do you want to join us on the bench press thing?
I don't want to get injured, but maybe,
that's,
why not?
That's fair. So I asked her teammate this a couple weeks ago. What are you looking forward to eating the most in Texas? Razy said chicken salad, which Texas is probably world renowned for, and I just don't realize. But what about you? Is there anything that you're looking forward to eating?
Well, actually, I had some chicken salad with him because first Quake we were boot camping together. But something I realized in the United States is that even a salad has like 3,000 calories. So
What I said.
I need to be.
That's how we do it here.
Yeah, I need to be careful about that. But
Yeah, you can have one your entire
chicken
trip, and
salad
that'll
is
cover you.
good. But I'm looking forward to like after Quake maybe if I stay a day more, like some meat, some BBQ.
Oh, all right. We can make that happen. You let me know.
Okay, I'll message you.
Alrighty. Yeah. Venger, congratulations.
Congrats,
Thank you for
man.
having a chat with us. Looking forward to seeing you again as we get closer and closer to QuakeCon. Take care.
Take care.
All right. So there was a lot to take away from that, chat. There's a gauntlet thrown down. ZSX. Can't wait to see you and Wheat outbench Venger, or try to, because that guy looks jacked on the server. So that's the first featured match down for us. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we are going to have Maxter versus Strong Sage to end the day. Don't go anywhere. More Quake on the way.